GMAC. This is Paradigm Live, your weekly place to catch up on all things CyberBrokers. I'm Mike Carterell, your community manager and friendly leftover.
And I'm Brianna. You might know me as Lady Diamond Hand. I help with marketing, ops, and lore here at CyberBrokers.
And we're jam-packed this week, aren't we?
Yes, it's super exciting stuff. I'm excited for the lineup we have.
And I keep forgetting, I had this prop from NFT NYC that Forge created, and I keep forgetting it to use it. So is it okay if I try it out here?
Let's see it. Forge is hard work.
We are not Disney, right? Needs to be the new tagline. Okay, let's hop into it. So we are CyberBrokers.
Yes. So if you're new here, we're a metaverse-native media and entertainment company. And we're working here to build an entire universe, and that's through our collectibles, our NFTs, our content, and our interactive experiences. So we are here to bring our holders along for the ride and building out this awesome IP we have.
And I think today is going to be a great example of what exactly that means. Sometimes those round words, until you see it, you don't fully understand it. And I think we're going to do a great job of explaining a lot of that today. Make sure to go to the website, cyberbrokers.com. Make sure to follow and subscribe to cyberbrokers_ on Twitter. We have two primary collections. CyberBrokers launched last year and Genesis Mechs, which are out now.
Yep.
Let's go through our agenda for today. It's a packed one.
Got a lot going on.
So we want to quickly review events this week, plus talk about metaverse trips, which we're going to be taking with our mechs.
We're going to go over our Genesis Mechs collection a little bit, and we're excited. We're going to talk about the broker list today, which is our community alpha group. So we have some fun new changes coming with that. So we're excited to talk about that.
And then we have an announcement about an NFT Security 101 class. That's a collab with Boring Security DAO.
We're going to also go over Nifty Island, which is one of our partners here. We've been working with them to ensure that our 3D mechs are going to be ready to use as soon as they launch later this year. So we're excited to kind of, show a little bit of maybe what you'll be able to do with your mechs with Nifty Island, which is super exciting.
Yeah. We're going to cover briefly Turbo for anyone who missed the last week and the AI created meme coin. So I want to touch on that. And then we're going to get into the bulk of the show, which is going to be 3D printing mechs with two special guests, Gabriel and Merk. So let's hop into it. Let's fly through those announcements and let's get to that 3D printing session.
Yes.
Okay. I lost there we go. So quickly, events this week, office hours, Tuesdays, 8 a.m., 8 p.m. Central, the standing place every week where if you have questions, have ideas, hop on in. Merk or I will be there, to make sure to help answer them. Wednesday is game night, 8 p.m. Central. Come try to kill myself and Josie in Among Us, amongst other people like Vo and Merk. I'm going to talk about the town hall a little bit in a minute. And then you're going to see more of these metaverse trips. So we have 3D mechs. We want to start exploring how to use them. We want to start learning where you can go in the metaverse with these things. And the one this week that we're going to start with is a Mona broadside bunker experience. For those who were at NFT NYC or remember broadside, they were the DJs and performing artists at the show, which was fabulous. So we're going to start off on their Twitter space, and then we'll take ourselves into their bunker in Mona to hang out with our mechs. And there'll be more of those coming. I think we did this a little bit as a team internally, and it was a blast, wasn't it? Just learning.
Yeah. I'm new to all of these 3D file things, and I think a trip like this is really cool because it shows you immediately what you can do with our mechs, which again, as someone who's a complete noob, it's actually really, really easy. to use them in these 3D worlds. So it's like a good dip your toes in for first step. And then we have things like this where you're we'll learn more about other things that you can do that, but there's a lot you can do with 3D files. There's, almost so much to cover.
This is just the beginning, and this is the get people comfortable and understand where everything is, so that, when we get to the more advanced stuff, everyone's ready for that too.
Yeah. So like something like this trip, like if you've literally never touched a 3D file before, you will be able to do this.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, let's keep going. So Genesis Mechs, if you haven't seen it yet, make sure to check out the YouTube Alpha Command videos. There's one for building your mech, there's one for using your mech, and there's one for a 3D world tour. And just like what you were talking about, Brianna, these are great places to start. Quick, simple videos show you, walk you through how to do things.
Yeah. There's one I know about just simply how to pose your mech in Blender, which is a great first stop if you're interested in creating with 3D and you don't know where to go. This is like a great learning tutorial for you.
Yep. So YouTube is full of these things. Make sure to check it out and use them. The creators have been having a blast with their 3D mechs, and 3D printing is certainly one side of it. But I think we wanted to show, they've taken their 3D mechs, they've mixed them with Mixamo animations. This is CBGB's tool. So if you go into Discord, there's a tool where you can do this with your own mech, right through a web page. So the creators have a blast.
Yeah, tools like this, especially again for newbie like myself, it's great. There's all these resources now that get you started. So cool.
Yeah, and I think the marketing point we want to get here is mechs are ready to go. You don't need to do anything other than grab the link or the file, and that's it. Nothing else.
And you'll have those links and files literally as soon as you mint your mech.
Exactly.
Even though they are fully custom.
Yeah, that's the power, right? Okay, we'll not beat that horse too much more. Let's talk about the broker list. So the broker list started last year. It's a private independent community for verified CyberBroker holders. They are NFT collectors, traders, and investors just sharing their enthusiasm for crypto and NFTs. And they've had their own Discord community for quite some time. And we are very happy to announce that we're going to help welcome them back into CyberBrokers Discord. We've worked out the liability issues associated with that. So to join the broker list in CyberBrokers Discord, all you need to do is use the TBL join / command to get access. You'll see all of the channels after that. And that kind of takes care of the liability thing. So because they are independent, they're talking about a lot of things that, not financial advice. We just need to make sure that there wasn't a liability issue for CyberBrokers there. This method fixes that, and now they have the space they want, and they can expand in it, and they can have those discussions. And I'm very much looking forward to a joint community with both in the same place.
Yeah, I think it'll be really, really great. I'm excited to have them back in the Discord, get the chats up and going.
Yeah, and there's a community town hall for broker list and CyberBrokers holders, which are basically the same people, on Wednesday at 9 a.m. Central. It's in CyberBrokers Discord. People have questions, concerns, pop up. Let's discuss it. Now that we've got it created, the intention is to figure out how to support whatever's needed to make that happen. So very excited about that too.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, Boring Security DAO. So shout out to, I got to find the name here. Shout out to shotgun.toby, who is a CyberBrokers holder and also a member of Boring Security DAO, for helping set this up for us. So this is an ApeCoin DAO funded project, and basically they provide free classes and security awareness. It's something that I think we all need. We keep seeing people come in and they're just gutted after losing their assets. So I know I personally can't wait for this. Are you interested in this, Brianna?
Yeah, I think things like this is just not only refreshers if you've been in the space, but also like good opportunities. Like more of these, the better to onboard new people. So I think this will just be a great refresher class even if you've been in the space for a while. I think there'll be a few insights into just to make sure you're completely safe, because obviously the last thing we want is anyone to lose their assets.
Yeah, every time someone comes in, it's just like gut-wrenching to hear it.
I know. So this is how you protect yourself. So.
Yeah, so this is a firstness, and you're going to keep trying to offer these to holders. It's a great collaboration with Boring Security DAO. This will happen on May 18th at 2 p.m. Central. We will get you the deets on how you register. There will be a perk for taking the class. We'll explain that later as well. But get that date on your calendar now. We're going through these quick, which is I'm happy about.
Perfect. Yes.
Let's talk about Nifty Island quickly.
The island. I've been so excited seeing all these videos they've been pumping out.
Well, and I think in the excitement of assembly launch, we talked about all these partners, and we kind of need to take a step and talk about each one individually. So we've kind of talked about Mona already.
Yes.
We've kind of talked about Webverse a little. Nifty Island is a game, right? And it's free to play. And it's coming out in a couple months. And you'll be able to use your mech in it. Again, simple point click. So I think everyone's been asking, what do I do with my mech? And the metaverse excursions are fun, but this is where the real fun is going to start on an ongoing basis, is games and experiences and interactions, right?
Yeah. And if you haven't gone to their Twitter and seen some of the videos they've pumped out showing the gameplay of this, like it looks really cool. I mean, obviously I'm biased, but I think our mechs just look perfect in the world that they've created. They look really, really cool. So it's been fun just seeing our mechs running around and on Cyber. So I'm excited to see them in Nifty Island. And again,
a game where you can shoot things and do stuff and earn stuff. And
and they've been great to work with. And again, we made sure that our mechs, when Nifty Island goes live, you will be able to, like Mike said, it will be super easy, click, mech is activated. So very easy access point. So we're excited to be one of those in partnership with them for this. So it'll be fun.
I know. And it's one of the first I've seen that's available now. A lot of these other, other side, it's a ways off. So I'm really excited that CyberBrokers will be one of the first ones in Nifty Island.
Yeah, I'm gonna be really bad, so
that's okay. It's
you see me running around in there. Don't.
It'll be like Among Us. There'll be a prize for most killed too, right? Okay, so make sure to go check out Nifty Island on Twitter, Nifty_Island, to keep updated on when that will become available. And let's move on to Turbo. Brand, I think you completely missed this, right? Because you were out.
I was on vacation. I was working from a plane Wednesday and then was out Thursday, Friday. So I feel like I just missed a whole year of everything.
So let's, first of all, this is not financial advice. So do your own research, not liable, blah, 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 blah. Rhett, or Mankind, is an artist and a CyberBroker holder. He actually started his AI experience with using Pixie Bolt in CyberBrokers Discord. And then this past week, he used ChatGPT AI to create a meme token. So he basically said, I want to do this. And ChatGPT gave him answers. He gave the community some interaction points on Twitter, which was really cool. Let them help choose paths. And then again, fed it back into ChatGPT. Created all the contract, the code, the website, the icon or the logo, the name, and launched the Turbo meme coin, and it exploded. So make sure to go check out Rhett on Twitter or his website, which contains all of his artwork. And then also check out Turbo Toad Token and that beautiful ChatGPT created logo. Actually, that's probably more
Mid Journey or something.
Stable Diffusion created.
It's so cute.
Yeah, it's nice to have a not frog, right? So frogs have been the big meme coin, and we've now switched to a toad.
Slightly different.
Yeah, just a little bit different. Okay, I'm loving this. We're about 15 minutes in, and we are going to switch to printing 3D Mechs. So let's bring up our guests. We have Merk and we have Gabriel. Merk, you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Merk, moderator in the CB Discord.
And friendly degen?
That as well.
Okay.
Nico Maxi.
Yeah, there we go. Nico Chan Maxi. Gabriel, you want to do an introduction for yourself as well?
Yeah, so I'm Gabriel, 3D artist, and I'm not full-time now, but 3D artist and fellow CyberBroker holder too. So.
And Lost Paradigms, you created all a lot of the 3D assets in Lost Paradigms project too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you all have been having a great time with your 3D printers, and we wanted to kind of walk through some of that. We've got some pictures first, and then we've got a video of Gabriel's joints, adding joints to the mechs. So let's start off with, I need to skip here. So could you guys explain this? This is CBGBs, but the left picture is kind of what comes out of the 3D printer, right?
Yeah. So the left picture, it shows all the support material because this is actually like upside down the way it comes on the printer. So all the support material prevents it from just falling down from the build plate. There's like on the bottom here, the bottom part is the build plate.
Okay.
So like you see the legs, they have more support material because they are all the way up there.
Yep.
So they would just fall back on the printer if they didn't have any of those structures holding it from, like, preventing it from falling.
Now it's interesting. I always would have thought when you 3D printed, you would print it like in standing form, and it would have that structure like already in place because it's standing. Why is it done this way?
Sometimes this, like doing this way, it uses less support material, and it's more like there's a lot of more like advantage. It depends all on the model that you're using, because like sometimes when it's a humanoid figure, it's better to print this way because it uses less support material. And
it's hollow inside.
Yeah, you can choose how much you can fill it with material. So like you can do 50% infill or like 75, whatever you want.
And the picture on the right it's cut out from the structures, and then I believe he sanded this one as well a little bit.
No, I think in this case, I don't know, I could be wrong, but since it's like a resin print, I think he didn't sand it. It's just like primer, because resin printing, like lets you like just have the models like how can I say it, like really smooth like that,
Yep.
straight out of the printer. So you could just like remove the supports, maybe sand where the supports were before
Mhm.
a little bit, and then just go with a little bit of primer, and it would look good like this. I could be wrong.
And that's a good point. So there's multiple substances you can use to print with. So resin is one. What are the options?
Yeah, so the two major ones are resin and FDM. FDM would be like the more traditional ones that you see, like melting plastic on layers,
Okay.
like uh, they're the first ones to like they were the first 3D printers to exist. The FDM ones, they are great for like big prints. If you want to do like big stuff or like mechanical stuff, FDM is the way to go. But you are into like model making and small stuff like just like Warhammer 40K models that are like maybe 2 to 3 inches tall. Resin it's a great option because it comes looking really great out of the printer.
And those are two physically different printers. You can't use the different materials in the same printer.
No, you can't, because like the one in the image, for example, it's a resin printer. So like the material is liquid. It cures using like UV technology.
Interesting.
And the FDM printer, it comes in plastic, like various types of plastic, can be PLA, ABS, PETG. That's the same plastic that's used on like plastic bottles.
Okay.
So on an FDM printer, the materials come in spools, like just like cable wires on.
Merk, which one do you have?
I actually have both.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Is there like a difference in terms of like user? Like again, I'd be new to this, so like in terms of like learning as a user, is there a difference between the two? Is there one that's better maybe for someone starting out, or something was both?
My suggestion for most people would be, if you want to build things and have like the most opportunities, FDM is the way to go. If you're really into building miniatures, resin's the way to go, but there's a steeper learning curve.
With the resin one?
Yeah, because the resin tends to be a little bit more dangerous, and you do need to take some precautions that way.
Yeah, it's like handled much more carefully than just the plastic that's used on other printers. For example, I use like PLA. That is a really quote unquote eco-friendly plastic. It doesn't has any fumes. Like when it's melted, it's just like a really casual material to handle. But like for example, with the resin 3D printer, it's really toxic. So you have to use gloves, you have to use a mask, you have to have like like an exhaust system on the room that you're using. So it's really messy, and like you have to be like, I think it would be like a second 3D printer. It would be great to you to have like a FDM first, and then go for a resin printer.
And then the other option, you don't have to have your own. You could actually create the files and have someone else 3D print them for you. Is that right?
Yeah. There's like nowadays there's a lot of like 3D printer services, especially in the US. There's a lot of farms, so you could just 3D print it locally. Just get in contact with someone that has a farm and send them the files, like and get the quote from them, and you can just have the models just show up at your doorstep.
Okay. So let's move on. I want to get to Merk's and your ones as well. So this is what it looks like coming out of the printer, and the left and then on the right is after you remove the supports. And then, oh, I went the wrong way. There we go. And then this, so you can see here, you know, the right is the color it came out with, and then I'm assuming that's like primer. The gray is first as a primer, and then painted yellow. So CBGB is treating this like a model, and then just painting it the way they want to kind of match the look and feel of the CyberBroker the mech they minted. How hard is it to paint these? It's just like model painting, right?
Yeah, just like it depends on I think on size, like the difficult, because like the smaller the model, the harder it is to paint. So like I think if the model is around like 6 inches, I think it should be easier to print for a starter to just like go ahead and paint it and do like a great job at it. So I think the smaller you get, the harder.
Yeah, I almost remember those, you know, the people that have like miniatures and they have the magnifying glasses and the really small paint brushes. That might not be the place to start.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. Merk, of course, has a Nico-chan head. You want to explain these, Merk?
Yeah, so this is actually a great example because if you look at the blue one, this is an FDM print, which is the one that doesn't use like resin. And then the other two, the Lichen and the Creative Deviant, both are resin. You can sort of see how much detail you can get in such a small amount of space with resin, which is, you know, what you get for the other trade-offs.
Yeah.
And
Are those bendable? I was just gonna say, like, the legs look crazy, like the joints and everything.
They're not bendable, but you know, that's the amount of detail you get is you can literally see like the how the joints bend together and stuff.
So you posed them and then 3D printed them.
Oh yeah, I went into Blender and used, like on both of them, I actually just used a cube and had them sit on the cube and deleted it to get the shape. That was actually thanks to the Ben Desai video. Like 100% go look at that. That'll help you so much in getting started with Blender.
Yeah, that's up on our YouTube if you're looking to pose your Max, check it out.
And there's Ben Fluencer right there.
There he is. Yeah, it's crazy, like just the minute little details. How long would something like the smaller ones take actually versus like say just the head, which obviously has way less details than the full bodies?
So like with that, so here's the cool thing here's like another detail with resin printers is your cost in terms of time is just based on layer count. So it doesn't matter how detailed the layer is because that screen is turning on and curing that resin in just a 2D plane. So like that one, the Creative Deviant probably took under 8 hours maybe. Though the FDM print actually may have been faster on the Nico-chan head.
Another good point. Could you explain layers? That's a term that, you know, we the cyberbrokers think of as SVG, but it's got a very different term here in 3D printing.
So when you're talking about layers, like you're literally like the software that you take the 3D models into is called a slicer because you're literally slicing it up by layers. Imagine like doing this manually by taking Post-it notes and taking a Post-it note off, cutting it into shape and putting it down. And that is how like a resin printer works. And that is sort of how a filament printer works too, because it's working on a layer by layer basis, going up through all the layers, and you can have thousands of layers. And one of the things too, like as an aside, when looking into buying a 3D printer, is looking to see the resolution of how thin that layer can be.
I'm assuming you want thinner layers because that gives you better details.
It depends, because if you want a printer that prints really fast, you actually want bigger layers. So like on FDM printers, if you're talking very large scale, like 350 by 350 millimeters, like you kind of want it to be faster. So you want the choice to have thicker layers. On resin printers, you want to have smaller printers or smaller layers. And in the case of like the Saturn II, which is like the one that CBGB is using and I'm using, you're talking about under 50 microns in terms of thickness of the layers.
Yeah,
Cool.
and just for like reference, the model that I printed, like the Mr. Griff one, it was I think dot 28 millimeters, so it's like miles of difference from FDM to resin. Resin's like microns.
Cool. Let's switch and let's get into your mech experience, Gabriel.
Okay.
So let me start here. That's the wrong picture. Let's start with this picture. There we go. So this is the mech you have 3D printed, or at least one of them, and it's Mr. Griff, right?
Yeah.
And can you tell us more about, why you picked this and what you've done to create this? And then when you're ready, I can show the video.
Okay, so like as far like the models hit the ground, the day the models hit the ground, I picked Mr. Griff. I think it was like not actually the day the models that we got access, but like the day after, because nobody had minted Mr. Griff yet.
Yeah.
So it was the day after. I got the model and started seeing how could I 3D print it at first, and then I ran into like a little bit of some problems, because like the model it's ready to go in any like virtual application, but like on like to 3D print it, it had like limitations. So I started like reworking part for part. Like I started with the arm, like shoulder, going all the way to the hand, then came back, did chest, hips, then went out on the legs. So it was like I think 2 days. I could like I think the body was ready, then did the head. The head is like 3 separate pieces. So it's like the base. No, it's I think 4 separate pieces. Face, the mouth, and that ear part that looks like a helmet but isn't. So it's separate. Then we have like a small little piece inside there that like determines like eye color. So you can choose which eye color would you have on your Mr. Griff. So this was a project made to print on any like the simplest of the simplest 3D printers. So you don't need to have like multiple colors. You can print both colors separate, or like any color that you want. So like it's and like it's completely articulated. I don't know how many points of articulation, but it has double jointed knees, double jointed elbows, hips, like both on the femur. I don't know like the name of this joint, but on the point of the femur right there, and on the hip.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of articulation points and a lot of interesting systems that I came up with.
So you started with a couple different design goals than what we've seen. The other 3D prints were they were posed and then printed, and they don't move from there. And then people are like painting them to get different colors. from what I'm seeing, you had a design goal of add joints. So all the joints move. You can actually pose the 3D mech after it's printed, and then you split up different parts to be able to more easily add color to them. Is that right?
Yeah. For example, like on the knee, you see like the knee pad and the tag, they are like different colors.
Yeah.
So like you could have like more detail without having to like, because I don't think everyone knows it, but I tried to do actually a Mac before the Macs were launching. It was like a personal project,
And this was Mech Arcade, your Mech Arcade mechs, right?
yeah, and like it could be considered like Lost Paradigms too, because it's on both.
Yep.
So it was like Bronco Brothers. I tried to do it like same size, same scale, like, but it all everything went wrong with it. Like different from this one. This one, like, it was like I didn't had a single misprint with this. It was like just working on the computer, printing, building, then coming back to the computer. So like I'm sorry, I got lost a little bit, but
No worries.
Oh,
okay.
cool.
Well, maybe this will be easier. I don't think that picture shows what exactly you've done here, because the level of detail you're printing, not only is each what we call a part, so an arm, a leg, a head, you've broken down each of those parts even further in some cases, and the level of engineering you've added to the joints is next level. So maybe we should just walk through this, and you can like tell me to stop at certain points, and talk about what you did. Does that work?
Okay, yeah, it would be great, because I want to explain like the design of the elbow joints and knee joints. So
Yeah.
it would be great.
Let me see if I can get right to that, because those are arms.
Now you can skip directly to knees, because I like you can see it better on the knees. Like on the arms, it's kind of hidden.
There we go. Here's the starting of the knees, I believe. Okay.
Like you can see like this little, like it's gonna say on the screen, but these little bumps go on the little fillets right there, and
So that this is like a locking washer, basically.
yeah, but it's locked within like the leg. It won't spin together with the knee, so that's what those little locks are preventing. That's the knee piece, so it goes there. This white stuff, it's nail polish for like better friction.
Hmm.
So like this is the little key. So the more you tight it with the key, the more the washer will press on the joint, so it will produce like a disc brake effect,
Hmm.
like just like you have on cars.
Yep.
So the joint will become reliable and won't just wear out with time. You can just keep, like if it becomes loose, you can just
Back up
tighten
again.
it again. Yeah, and it
Yes.
makes it easier to build and easier to maintain.
One, you could actually like loosen them all up, create a pose you want, tighten them all up, keep the pose. So it's great flexibility for something other than just a single standing position.
Yeah.
And then could you talk about the knee joint that's showing here, or the knee pad?
Yeah, so the knee pad is just like a simple square slot, like square slot. I'm sorry, it's I lost the word, but it's just like it goes together really
Pops
simply.
in. Yeah.
It just pops in. You can use glue if you want, but like it's optional on this part. There's just like a couple of parts on this project that need glue. The majority is just like pop and go together. Like for example, this, I think this is the sheen. So like you can see that black part was already glued when I took it apart. So it's back there. It pops together too, but you can glue it if you want. So like, and the other thing that I like envisioned when like doing this project was I didn't want people to have to buy screws or buy anything else than just like filament. So you can, this is like a 100% 3D printed project. You just need a 3D printer or having someone to 3D print it. The only tool that you need is this little thing right here that I'm using,
Which you
and
can print as well, right?
it's printable, so you don't have to worry about like getting any outside stuff, just like plastic, because like it's hard enough like to someone to do this. So I want to make it as easy as possible for like a great number of people to do this. Like the more you complicate it, the less people will do
Yeah.
it. So I try to do it this simple. It's
The-
a really simple project.
The example here is you could create a kit with all the 3D files that would be required to do this. You know, hand that off to a 3D printer and get the printing back and then put it together yourself.
Yeah, and this would be like maybe like less than an hour of just sitting down and building it, which is really low for this kind of model, because
Yeah.
Gundam generally it's like a lot of time to build one. So this one's really simple, not a lot of fancy details or anything.
Yeah. So for those who are into model building, you know, this would be the equivalent of going to your store, you know, buying a box with parts in it and assembling it. You're just assembling a CyberBrokers Genesis Mech instead.
Gabriel, how many parts were there? Because like the detail is crazy, just like how you thought through, like, you know, the screws, the joints. Like, do you remember how many parts ended up being finished?
I haven't counted yet, but when like I have the project all set up for like already, it will be counted. I haven't counted yet.
Yeah, I'm like curious because like the detail again is crazy, the level of detail on all these and how movable. Again, just like watching you assemble it, like it's not overly complicated for, you know, like, you know, how you've set this all up. It looks really fun and easy to do.
Yeah, this is what I was trying to do, like do it like so it looks good, but it's not so complicated that it's like just I can build it. I want people to build it, so I made it pretty and practical at the same time. So that's what was like, that was my objective with this, and I'm happy that I achieved it.
You ready for a Nico-chan, Brianna?
Oh, there's a Nico-chan? Oh, I'm
not yet, but I'm sure that's the one you want, right? To be able to pose it.
I love the Nico-chan. It's one of my favorites. So again, I would definitely get a kit and put it together. Haven't dipped into the 3D print yet, but again, like again, I didn't know you could send the files off and have someone print them for you, and then you get to do the fun part. So again, another option if you're newer to all this stuff like me is you own those files. Those are now your files of your custom mech. So the fact that you can send them to someone and, you know, have them print them out for you, and you get to, you know, either just paint it or, you know, something like this, which, you know, obviously Gabriel's put a lot of thought into this one, but it is amazing what you can, you know, do with these files.
Again, the exploration, right? Endless possibilities. Gabriel, you want to talk? So you've got the double knee joint working. You want to talk about the ball joint at all?
Yeah, I think that part the video stop it's perfect because like you can see where I'm pointing. uh, there's a flat part right there. So that's how you like pop the joint together, because like ball joints are really like headache to make in 3D, like in 3D printing. They are good in injection molding, but it's horrible on 3D printing. So I had to make them reliable and had to make sure that they would pop in place. So you have the flat spot right there, and I'm gonna point. I think I'm gonna point inside the sheen that you have a couple of bumps. I'm showing again the other joint, but
Actually, we just showed the, yeah, there, here we go.
yeah, inside there would be two little bumps. Just pop it together, and when you like you put it in position, it can pop. If it like the only way that you can like rip it apart, it's if you put back into the position that you.
So it's 90 degrees off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a circle. So you've got a perfect circle, and then you shaved the sides, two sides off.
No, just one side.
Oh, just one side. Okay, and then you put it in 90 degrees, twist it, and then it's kind of locked in.
Yeah, and like even if you like want to pose it like 90 degrees, it won't be a problem, because you have to really like pull it apart. Yeah.
That's amazing. Look,
the details are still so crazy to me, especially because like we worked on the files for so long. Like originally they were just like a flat 2D image, and to see now like what everyone's doing with the files, it's awesome seeing it brought to life like this.
And why the nail polish?
Nail polish makes the joints more like it moves smoother. And like,
it's removing the friction. Okay, it's creating a layer of
and creates like, it's like cartilage. It's that the word for like what connects our joints. So it's like cartilage for 3D prints. So it makes it smoother and makes it tighter at the same time. So it's a better feel when you like, because of the layer lines. When you have the nail polish, it makes it like a lot better, I think.
I can see it, Brianna, the new 3D printing line of CyberBrokers products, official CyberBrokers Genesis Mechs nail polish.
Multi-purpose.
Multiple colors, pick the afterglow choice,
And other thing, I recommend getting like clear nail polish. I just had this from like another family member.
Yeah.
That may or may not be searching for it to this day, but
you stole their nail polish. That's funny.
So yeah, I just had a pink one, so that's why it's weird like that.
Mm-hmm.
But look how easy it all goes together once it's all printed. That's amazing.
Yeah, it just pops together.
And so you chose, like, you printed it this like nice purple color, correct, Gabriel? That was like the color you chose.
No, it's like I just had this color laying around. It was like purple and black was the two colors that I had.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up having to buy another spool because I ran out like at the very end of the project. So that's why like the head and one of the hands is black. Because like and I ended up with another like 3 pounds of purple filament. So it was like just what I have in hand. Didn't choose those colors, but it's just like to show that you can print on like a primary and secondary system. So you just like choose 2 colors if you want to.
And that's a good point. And in this picture, anytime you see a purple and black, those are separate pieces. Like if you look at the shoulders, the 2 black parts on the top, those are separate printed pieces that you then push in and connect, right?
Yeah, everything's separate.
Yeah. So if you wanted to paint this, for example, it makes the painting a lot easier because you can paint the individual parts and then put it together.
Yeah, just like you would put them like at the end of sticks, get them all together, like for example the primary ones painted, and then go with the secondaries. It would be really easy to separate them and print it before assembling. I would just recommend protecting the joint points and every point that two parts would go together. I don't recommend painting in it. It would be hidden before, like it would be hidden after. Sorry, the parts go together. So that's the only point that I don't recommend painting, because it would, like, primaries sometimes it's really a thick layer of prime would be a problem there.
Yep. Ballistic's got a question here.
Okay.
First, huge compliment. Again, amazing work, Gabriel. And I think we all agree this is like next level 3D printing. How easy was it to add the joints in Blender?
I think like after I had reworked the model, like corrected the stuff that was getting in the way of 3D printing it, it was really easy. I just had to develop cutters that are like objects that are designed to be like a Boolean, like equation. So I would just put it together, cut it, and then see if it's in the right position, and just go ahead and print it. It was like the harder part was just developing like a system.
The method,
yeah. Now that I have like the joints ready, I'm more than happy to make it available for other people to use the cutters and joints that I use it.
So you've basically created like I see 3 different types of joints. There's the ball joint, there's the knee screw joint, and then on the arms I see what do you call the single plate double moving?
Oh, it's a double joint too. It's similar to the knee, it's just smaller.
Yeah. So you've got all of those as 3D assets in Blender, and all at the same scale, so that if someone wanted to, like, say, make something half this size, they just reduce the size of those joints by half and use them.
Yeah, as long as the screws are working, you can scale it down as much as you want. The problem is just like sometimes the screws and threads stop working when you scale it down too much. But as long as they work, if you have like a resin printer, for example, you can really scale it down. So it wouldn't be a problem on scaling.
Awesome. Okay, I want to see the whole thing here at the end.
Yeah, now it's the head. As I said, like it's 4 main parts. There's the cigar that was already glued, but it's just a small part. So this is the piece I was talking about, the eye.
I love that cigar.
I'm gonna take it together so just to show it, but okay,
wow.
So mouthpiece and the eyes go there. They pop together. No need to glue, like the entire head. You don't need to glue it. Just pop it together. And mouthpiece, same thing. Just 2 attachment points. Pops together. I'm gonna have a little bit of trouble on the video, but it was on take. So do it again. Okay, now it popped it together. So it leaves little room there, just like not a lot of room between face and mouth. So same thing with the headpiece. Just a single attachment point.
I can't believe just the possibilities of painting too. And not only is the mech going to be articulated, but it allows you to paint them separately, which will be a lot easier for some people.
Yeah. So yeah, the mech is now complete. I just need to, like, the neck needs to be glued. That's why it's all over the place. But yeah, that's basically it. You can see like detail pieces back there. A lot of like texture. So, and there's something missing in this video. There's actually one piece missing. If you see on the chest, right there, there should be like a little like talisman like piece, like a medal. I don't know, like a round.
Oh, the engine icon.
Yeah. So I created a lot of icons, a smiley face, and other stuff.
So you can customize them.
Yeah. So you can like customize it. I would do like a template, but the first print was fitting, but it was too tight. So I left it on the background, and I haven't gone back and then printed it again because like I was printing other stuff. But you can do whatever you want. Like I'm gonna do like within the file you have like the template to do like any symbol that you want and put there. For now, I just did the smiley face. So it didn't make into the video, but it was like a great detail that it wasn't there. But people can do it.
So if people have questions, now is the time. Merk, do you have any questions about this?
No, just when will we get the files to play with?
Yeah, really, I'm just like there's some file errors. I was actually working this last night, so I'm just correcting them, and I'll see some like I just need a place to house them. I'm trying to think of something, but really soon the files are like really close to be publicly available.
So basically, take the discussion. If you're interested, go into 3D printing channel in CyberBrokers. Gabriel is in there chatting away about this. You know, Merk and others are talking about what they're doing. So if you're interested in getting 3D printed mech, go join the conversation. I'm sure Gabriel, you'll take some commissions if interested as well. So I'm sure that's an option. I'm not seeing any other questions. Brianna, any last thoughts on printed mechs from you?
No, but again, I'm learning about all of this, so it was cool just to kind of get an idea of different types of printing and again,
Possibilities.
what you could do with your files, even if you don't have a 3D printer yourself. So this was awesome. It's been cool seeing just like how creative everyone's been with, you know, movable joints, posing them and printing them. I'm excited to see what else, because I know we've got a lot of creative people in our community. I'm excited to see what people come up with next, because I'm sure we'll have some awesome stuff we can chat about next time.
And also, I want to see some Franken-mechs. Those would be the really cool ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Omar says I want to order straight from Gabriel. Go talk to him in Discord. I'm sure that can be
hit my line.
Yeah. Okay, so I thank you, Merk. Thank you, Gabriel. Loved seeing all of this, and thank you for helping us understand. This is going to be a great video. Someone wants to learn about 3D printing their mechs. Pop right to this. I think that's a wrap for today, Brianna. Anything else we need to remind people of before we close out?
No, just make sure you check out our events. They're in the Discord if you want to set reminders for yourself. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Yeah. So office hours twice tomorrow. Game night on Wednesday night, and the Broker List CyberBrokers Community Town Hall on Wednesday as well. Thank you, everyone, and say goodbye.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.